We are here in Gonarezhou National Park, a park situated in the southeastern side of Zimbabwe, a national park guarded by the rangers of Gonarezhou. Join me as I take you on a driver's experience through this beautiful, lesser known national park as I travel with my good mate Ed. Rather than me talking, have a look at this. This episode supported by Sereth Logistics and JimGreen Footwear. Thank you to our partners, King of Cars Premium, DeGraaf Performance Exhausts, Opposite Lock, TAKLA Products, Indeflate, LACIE and Tracks for Africa. And a big shout out to my Patreon legends.
What's happening, bro?
Hey, we are here at Sereth Logistics, and I'll tell you what, that means we're getting ready to go on another trip. And I'm not gonna say too much, but gee whiskers, I'm excited. Let's get this thing filled up. A massive thank you to Sereth Logistics for coming on board and being the main fuel sponsor for this trip. Guys, without your help, and you know it just wouldn't be possible. So a big thank you. Thank you, Jono. Thank you to Sereth. But hey, let's get this filled up and let's get out there. We're going together. I know you're rolling with me, my man. Let's get ready for an adventure and let's roll out.
Right, how awesome is this? Tomorrow we are heading on a 24-day adventure into Zimbabwe. We are going to the Gonarezhou National Park, and how awesome is this? We're at Sereth Logistics, and Jono and the team have come on board as the fuel sponsor for this adventure. Thank you, legends. Honestly, what a difference it makes, guys. When you get good quality fuel and you're ready to go on an adventure, yeah, it's exciting. So we're filling up the Land Cruiser and the Ranger, and looking forward to it.
Wherever you are in the world, make the excuse to get out and enjoy the adventure that is life. I'm Ryan Crocker, and this is 4x4 Ventures. Having received my first pair of JimGreen footwear boots, I thought I'd show you what they're about. I was looking for a boot that was up to the task of being rugged, durable, and comfortable, while still giving me the latitude of smart casual wear. So a boot that also needed to be light. I chose the African Ranger boot. The African Ranger boot is a boot designed by rangers for rangers, and one of the best parts to this boot is how it wears in. A light, durable, comfortable leather-made boot develops a natural wear patina that shows character and mileage. The African Ranger boot was a great choice for me and what I do. And if it's not a boot for you, then explore their website. You'll definitely find what you're looking for. In the next episode, I give you my honest, unbiased and unchecked review of this boot and why it might be a boot for you. Keep an eye out. It's going to be one not to miss. But let's get on with the show. This trip would total a round trip of 2,354 kilometers spanned over 22 days. We'd travel up to the very north of South Africa and enter Mozambique at the Pafuri border post. We cross over again, but into Zimbabwe at the Sango border post. Entering the south of Gonarezhou National Park, we head for the Runde River, where we enter again at the Chipinda South Gate entrance to explore the exclusive campsites and areas along the stunning Runde River. Heading back, Ed and I revisit Gorwe National Park in the northern province, that is, the Limpopo. Okay, go. What a morning. It's early, eh? 4 o'clock in the morning, and Eddie and I are making our way through to Zimbabwe. And we are going to Gonarezhou, the southeastern side of Zimbabwe, a place I've been to before, but not like this. 24 days, so we are packed to the rafters. We have to take it easy. There's no ways you can avoid being overloaded on a trip like this. And I'm just excited, man. I'm excited to be on an adventure again. And I tell you what, this one is long overdue. I think the longest we've been away from doing an overlanding trip. The last one was the one you're watching now, which was then in October
Doctor cleared up the heart, so I'm ready to rock and roll, and it's going to be epic. Have a look at this.
Zimbabwe.
Zimbabwe.
Right, good morning, and an early morning, and we are on our way to Polokwane and then onwards to Louis Trichardt. From there we make our way up to Pufuri, but with the major sponsor of this show being Sereth Logistics coming in with a really huge fuel donation, we have to drive all the way up to Messina to one of the depots. It's an added 38 kilometers to the trip, where we can fill up at one of the depots. It's Ed in front and I'm at the back, and we are making good progress on a really slow, calm and steady drive. It's going to be an exciting trip. I've been before, and it's exciting because on this trip, for the first 10 days we joined with good mates. Some of them haven't been to Gonarezhou, and obviously Ed, he's never been to Gonarezhou, so I think that they're going to have an absolutely interesting time. Number one, with all the elephants, and number two, great to see new places. Happy morning, I can tell you that now, as the sun begins to rise. So we are going down the Soutpansberg, and it looks absolutely spectacular. I've driven here a few times now, both up and down, and wow, man, this is when you realize South Africa really has some magic places. After a full day's drive and filling up at Messina, we finally reach our destination. For the first 2 nights, we'll be staying at the Nthakeni Bush and River Camp, a favorite of ours and a place we often camp over when visiting this part of the country. It's a 600-kilometer drive from Joburg and took us the better part of the day to do on account of delays at the fuel depot. But fantastic to reach a campsite as amazing as this one. Here we finally made it to Nthakeni. Believe it or not, a long day on the road. Actually, quite a long day. We are at Baobab campsite, and it's just fantastic. We've got lovely lamb chops on the go. Ed is doing a fantastic job as Gordon Ramsay, and I'm in charge of salads. Yes, I know we're having salads, but it's time for a... And we've got big ass dung beetles flying around. Yes, they're massive, eh? That thing hits you in the cop, you're gonna feel it. Fuck it. Come check this thing. Let's go and have a look-see. It hit Ed in the head. Hit this thing. What is that, bro? That's not a dung beetle, mama. Oh man, it's a flipping lilac-breasted roller. What the fuck? I don't know. But I think he's concussed, bro. He's concussed. Did he put a bruise on your head?
Yeah, I think I'm bleeding here. Yeah, it's amazing. Yes, as soon as I said this thing's gonna hit me in the head, it hit me in the head.
That's pretty large, eh?
Yeah, we're gonna leave him to regain consciousness, and then you can see he's still alive, obviously.
Zimbabwe, here we come. We're excited, eh? I gotta go and do salad now. Not my preferred thing to do, I'll be honest with you. So the last time I was here, these fellas said, yeah, you know, you must put a mopani stick down the back of your neck because it'll keep the mopani flies away. So Orion goes and he grabs a piece of mopani branch just not far from this campsite, actually behind us. and I put this thing behind my shirt, and I didn't think anything of it, and I sit down on the chair, and I tell you, I started feeling something moving on the back of my neck, and it was one of those hairy caterpillars, but a grey one, the same colour as the mopani, and I made sure that thing was clean, eh? Anyways, let me tell you something, that thing put all its hairs in the back of my neck, eh? Old Eddie had to get a knife and scrape that thing out. It was next level, and I tell you, the oaks were laughing at me because I was scratching and itching for the whole day. That night was a big problem, eh? So, let me tell you something.
Be careful.
Don't trust your mates, they're gonna get you, they're gonna catch you.
I've got a Ziploc, we put in a Ziploc.
We are living healthy out here. We're trying to anyways. It's a big change. It's a massive change, but it has to happen, eh?
Good morning. And what a morning it is, eh? Fantastic to be here at Nthakeni, where we camp underneath a massive baobab, and the campsite aptly named Baobab Campsite. Absolutely brilliant. We woke up this morning fairly early, and to the sounds of all these birds. Yeah, just lovely, hey? And I'll tell you what, there's nothing better than camping underneath one of Africa's great giants, the African baobab tree. Really spectacular here at Nthakeni Bush Campsite. Look, yesterday was a fairly long day on the road. We stopped off obviously to meet up with some friends and some of the crew that are going to be joining us today, which is exciting. Ben, Heinrich, Daryl from opposite lock, and Gerry from opposite lock will be joining us today. Tomorrow the plans are we're going to drive in through to Pafuri in the Kruger National Park, in the northernmost point of Kruger, where we will at Crook's Corner turn right and head for the Pafuri border post into Mozambique, between South Africa and Mozambique, which will be a new adventure for myself. I've never traveled that route or exited or entered at that border post, so a lovely first, I reckon. Look, I think at this stage we're just excited, biting at the bit to get into the wild, and yeah, let's see what today holds and what today brings, and can't wait for the fellas joining us to join us too. But yeah, today overall I think just a chill day, I reckon, just catching up, making sure everything is right on the vehicles, and yeah, just enjoying the serenity that is Nthakeni Bush Campsite. Absolutely fantastic to be here. And the baobab tree is shedding all of its leaves, which, yeah, just special, eh? Always magic to enjoy the serenity of camp life. Then Ed brings out a new toy. UPAT SA came on board with the shows and supported us with some much needed insane Milwaukee tools and gear for our adventures. A massive thank you to UPAT South Africa and Milwaukee Tools for their amazing support.
What you saying, bro?
Jeez, I never thought I'd need one of these, and I know, it looks like we're pushing it. It's the Milwaukee leaf blower. I think it's the smaller of the one, the M12. It takes a little 4 amp battery. It's still full. We've cleaned the cars. The baobab tree is shedding all its leaves. And in camp, what a great little bit of kit. And you also have some fun. I mean, I feel like I need to go around now and blow all these leaves out of here. But yeah, awesome, man. Oh, really, really awesome. It is having fun now. I tell you, this thing is addictive. Once you start, you can't stop, man. And he's still going.
Down 1 bar now. From probably, I don't know, 10 minutes of usage, down 1 bar. Which is not bad at all, because we've got 4 bars. And yeah, they're these cool little lithium batteries that fit into a charging station and then straight into here. And they work from here to our power tools, so our drill and our impact driver, and also our 12-volt fans, all using the same battery. So you don't have 20 different batteries for 20 different things.
A bit of a stretch here, but when it's hot, and I mean really hot, the Milwaukee fan is a real powerhouse. Loving it.
What's happening? You are too early. No.
Where are we off to today, Ben?
Today, we're heading straight into Zimbabwe. Through the Limpopo River into Zimbabwe.
You excited, man?
Yes, I am. I am. Looking forward to it.
Lovely. Daryl,
Hey,
how are you, buddy?
good on you, Chan.
You excited, my
Yeah,
man?
very bad.
Where are we going today?
Hey, Zimbabwe, bud.
You excited? You've been before, eh?
Yeah, I've been before. It's beautiful.
Yeah, we
I can't wait to go back there.
And how's the border crossing?
Well, we'll see. We'll see when we get there.
Good morning, and what a morning it is, eh? I'll tell you what, today we are rolling with the crew and my good mate Gerry. And I'll tell you what, it is a crew. So in the front we have Ben, then we have Heinrich. Ben's in the back doing some work. We've got Chris from Get Out Go, obviously myself, Ed, you guys know Ed, and Daryl and Gerry. And I'll tell you what, today we live in Nthakeni and we drive through the northernmost point of Kruger National Park and we go through Pafuri border post, which I've never been to, so that's going to be interesting. And I'll tell you what, then we cross the Limpopo River and I'm excited, man. Check this out.
To go to Gonarezhou. Whose idea was it to go to Gonarezhou? Was it my idea? Yeah. Thank you very much.
You good. How's it going?
Ah, lovely. What a fantastic start to the trip. We had a beautiful 2 nights at the amazing and very serene Nthakeni campsite at Baobab campsite, and as I said in the past and I continue to say, it is definitely a place that should be on your places to visit list. Absolutely. We're on our way now to Crook's Corner in the Kruger National Park. We are driving on a very cool day, a lot of cloud cover and a lot of rain, so yeah, which is okay by me, just to keep that temperature down. Absolutely fantastic. The bush looks amazing. We are in a big convoy and we've just come through the Pafuri gate, an amazing convoy with good people, and everyone's biting at the bit to be in the wild places of Gonarezhou. From the Crook's Corner we head to Mozambique, the Pafuri border post into Mozambique, and we've got to cross the Limpopo River, so that should be exciting, right? Well, let's see how it goes, but yeah, let's just enjoy the drive, and good to be on an adventure in the Kruger National Park, heading into Mozambique and then up to Saronga, where we cross over into Gonarezhou National Park. Gonna be brilliant, absolutely fantastic. One of the problems we might have is we actually don't know the condition, the true condition of the Limpopo River. And when doing a trip such as this, there's essentially 2 ways to get into Gonarezhou. One being through Pafuri, which is the way we're going now, which you drive through the Limpopo River, or you go on a barge that'll take you across the Limpopo River. The other way is to go through Bight Bridge. Now, we've obviously opted for the Limpopo River. We have had word that it is in some spots passable, doable, drivable, but the thing is, if it rains further up north, the Shashi flows into the Limpopo, the Livuvu flows into Limpopo, so the water's got to go somewhere, and we're pretty nervous. If I'm honest, we're pretty nervous. Number one, because if it's too deep to drive through, you can't drive through. And number two, if you have to take the pontoon, apparently it's not a great pontoon, it's quite a small pontoon. You've got big vehicles, big rigs, you know, it's gonna be interesting. So let's get to the Footwear border crossing, and let's see how the Limpopo looks. Okay, so we've just crossed through the border. We are now in Mozambique officially. No real issues. No real issues. Just the vehicle is absolutely heavy. So heavy. On the top, I've obviously got the 8 bags of wood and the gas bottles, 80 liters of fuel. It's just unbelievably heavy, so I'm driving as cautiously as I can. And we've just come up to the first stop inside of Mozambique, so we're gonna see what happens. It looks like an official police stop, but without any police car, and it's literally, I'd say, 800 meters, maybe a kilometer out from the border post. Now at the border post, you obviously have to pay at the border post for your TIP, which for a double cab bakkie is 50 Rand or 150 meticas. And then the guys obviously searched the vehicles, had no issues, and we are now on the way, which is lekker, absolutely lovely. Next hurdle, the Limpopo River. Yes. Hey, how's it going, man? It's always exciting driving unknown roads in new places. To be honest, none of us are sure if we've taken the right road on this one. And as the overgrown vegetation begins to swallow the vehicles and Tracks for Africa tries to lead us to an ever-changing Limpopo Causeway crossing, we keep pushing forward until we find the banks of the Limpopo River. If you do this trip, take the first left, some 2 kilometers from the Mozambique border. Tracks for Africa will guide you on a track if you enter Dumela Lodge as a destination.
This is why you always let your tires down before we hit the river.
It's a silly mistake we just made, eh? Shame, Heinrich is properly bogged and it's coming down. And I think as an always go-to, always deflate, eh? Always deflate. We've made a rookie error here, absolutely rookie. A shame, I've got a nice little chap. He's come in Mozambique, Oak's always so helpful, always so friendly, and I don't know how much it's going to cost, but yeah, my word, we just got proper stuck. When Heinrich did a recovery on me from the back, and then Heinrich got stuck, and I've done a recovery, turned around because I got out, done a recovery on him, and it's coming down. I'm sopping wet. Thank goodness for the TAKLA seat covers. And Heinrich's trying to get out now, and it looks like he's getting stuck. That's the Limpopo behind us, and if I tell you a guy in a little 1-tonner bakkie with no 4x4, he just came whizzing through here.
But it's light.
He's light. He's lightly heavy.
I'm scared.
Why?
I thought that was pretty deep.
Was it deep? I didn't see how deep.
Came over his bonnet.
Oh no, I didn't see.
Slow down, but
okay, so we're gonna do this now. Excitement levels are up and nervous drivers as we make what would be our first of many river crossings on this adventure. Ed, what's wrong, my man?
No, I'm a bit nervous. Hey? I mean, everyone made it through no problem, but I got so much weight. I went super low on the tires, so hopefully that helps, but yeah, no, nervous. River crossings and me, we don't blend nowadays.
So far, the trip is going well, even with sand caught in the ranger's disc brakes. Thinking the river crossing would be the tough part, we soon realized that what lay ahead for us would be the real challenge, as man and vehicle would grip for both traction and control as the heavens open up for us. If you know it, then all I'll say is 2 words: black cotton soil. Make that 3. What an adventure, man. The roads are proper sloshy. 4 low stuff. I mean, we're sliding everywhere. It's black cotton soil. We're in 4 low, and I'm giving some lighties a lift. I don't know, they said Dumela, I think that's a lodge. We have no idea where we are. Driving through villages. But brilliant. Absolutely. Having a time of my life. Only in Africa, man. Only in Africa. Loving it. The adventure is real, and I am in my element. Wow, 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 wow. What a drive this has turned out to be. It's absolutely something else. Absolutely something else as we make our way to Chiloja or Sango border post. I tell you, every obstacle is completely soaked in the mud. Old Daryl's just tried to climb a hill. Ed just barely made it. And look at what I'm talking about. So there's only one problem to being at the back and filming, is everyone else stuffs up an obstacle. So I'm now left with a really wrecked track. The road looks in a bad condition. So 4 low. I'm gonna go in 2nd gear. Oh, here we go.
There, right?
Wow, bro, I just barely made it, man. As old Heinrich says,
And then Manchester turn left in 34k.
the Power Ranger.
At the border.
I don't know if you guys saw that, but I slid straight into the place you didn't want to slide into, eh? And that was proper nerve-wracking, and actually very I was very lucky. You've got no control when you're driving up black cotton soil, any clay type surface that's wet and waterlogged. Yeah, by the 5th car, it's a problem. It's a proper obstacle. But we are through, and that's the main thing. Just I'm loving it. I've got to be honest with you. I think it's fantastic. Okay, so we've run into a little bit of an issue. We've just found out now that the border post is going to close at 4 o'clock or 4:30, something like that. So the time now is 1:15, and we need to push. And the road is amazing. I mean, this is amazing to drive, but you're not driving anywhere fast, eh? So Yeah, we are trying to make a plan and the squeak in the roof is irritating me. We are on the tar road and I believe it's 75 kilometers from Pafuri border post to Sango border post, and it's probably 75 kilometers of some of the best driving I've ever done, and I've done some pretty good roads, eh? And in terms of good roads, as in a pure adventurous road, and that is definitely one of them. It has got to be top 5, absolutely. Just fantastic, and what a pleasure to be able to do it in the rain, overcast, so nice and cool, everyone having a good time, just really nice. We have arrived at the Sango border post. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Now we cross over into Zimbabwe. Right, so it is, yeah, it's dark, and the roof is still making a noise. But the main thing is we are in Gonarezhou. Well, not officially yet. We've got to get to the gate, which is 5 kilometers from the border post, and that was a process. I'm not gonna lie, that was an absolute process. It just takes so long. There was 2 couples in front of us, and it just takes too long. Just took too long, far too long on the Zimbabwean side. Mozambique side, no problem. Zim side, yeah, sure, it's a problem, man. But yeah, we are here now, so not to be too negative. The road it's got quite a lot of divots and old elephant holes in what looks like elephant holes. But a long day on the road, Let's get to camp. Being a bit disgruntled and tired, we finally cross over into the southern side of the Gonarezhou National Park. It's a relief to know that the ranges will open up for latecomers to the national park. Keep your reservation receipts handy, and if possible, make contact with Chipinda reception and let them know of your delays. Getting a bit lost in the dark searching for camp, we arrive and set up at Gorwe Pan. It's 10 o'clock in the evening and we're all knackered. But a few celebratory refreshments and some chow is in order as we relive the day's moments around our first wild Gonarezhou campfire. Hey, my man, we finally made it. Eh? What a day, what a day. I mean, if you could sum up adventure in a day, that was today. It was spectacular. It was, I mean, sure, okay, we pulled into campsite at 9:30, 9:45, and we are all absolutely thrashed. But I mean, from a driver's experience and point of view, well, you can't get any better. Driving through the rain, slipping and sliding on mud, just absolutely fantastic, and so lekker to finally arrive at Gonarezhou, and we are here set up at Gorwe Pan, and just lekker to be here.
How was your drive, Hunter?
It was flipping long, and we didn't expect a short distance like that to take a full day, and that border crossing took us better part of 3 hours to get through that border crossing. It was hectic. The rain also made it quite a challenging day, from crossing the Limpopo and then black cotton soil, slipping and sliding all over the place. But yeah, we're in Gonarezhou, and that's all that matters.
What have you got going on here, buddy?
Everybody's tired and hungry, just quickly racking up some rashes here.
The journey is long, not distance, but time. We left Nthakeni at 8:30, only had 150 kilometers to do, and it took us the whole day because border crossings, you cross essentially 4 borders. So from South Africa to Mozambique, then Mozambique to Zimbabwe. So that's essentially 2 border crossings, but 4 procedures. And it takes a very long time, especially the Zimbabwean side by Sango border post. It took us 2.5 hours.
Waking up after arriving at night is always exciting. You never know where you are, what the area looks like, and if it has any resemblance to what you picture in your head. Being the end of March, Gorwe Pan has quite a lot of water in it.
Meneer, lekker by Gorwe Pan.
Straight down the barrel.
Gonarezhou normally closes off to travellers during the rainy season, which starts at the beginning of November and up to and sometimes including the end of April, depending on the water flood levels. Confirm accessibility to the national park before your departures at this time of the year. Daryl, what are the plans?
But today we're heading off to Chipinda Pools to go do our check-in. We got in late last night. I think it's about 80-kilometer drive, so we're going to get going to get there, check in, have a good shower, fill our water tanks, and then move on to Director's Camp for a 3-day stay there.
How's your passenger?
How are you, my passenger?
No, I'm always good, especially waking up to these views. Awesome.
Yeah, no, this is magic. I highly recommend it. We pulled in here late, but it was well worth it waking up to this place.
Lekker and you.
Yeah, good, very good, my man.
Good.
What are the plans today?
Hey, we're heading to Chipinda Pools now to go and check in, and then all the way to Director's Camp, and that's where the magic's gonna start in Gonarezhou.
You well?
Yeah, very well. How are you,
Good,
buddy?
good.
What are the plans, bro?
We had a fantastic evening here at Gorwe Pan, and this morning we're heading to Chipinda Pools. Thereafter we'll make our way up to Directors for 3 nights.
Yeah, lovely morning to wake up fairly refreshed and revitalized and rejuvenated. We are in the magic Gonarezhou National Park. All a bit of a blur, if I'm honest, from yesterday. A long day on the road. That's pretty much the big takeaway from yesterday's adventure, and it was an absolute, it was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Today we have woken up at the beautiful Gorwe Pan. There is no fixed campsite. There's essentially a clearing on the ground where you can make a fire, and there's obviously evidence of people making a campfire there before. Something I must highlight to all of those of you that come out to Gorwe Pan, it's so worth it. It's beautiful. Please take out everything you take in. It is just a stopover or transit campsite, so you must be totally self-sufficient when going to Gorwe Pan. It's a big water hole, and be very wary of buffalo. A lot of buffalo. We came in last night, Ed saw 100 strong buffalo drinking down at the water's edge. We saw 1 or 2 of them coming out this morning. There's enough space for you to see what's going on around you, but if you take that morning visit to the loo, don't drift too far from campsite, and be very vigilant. You're in the wild. You're in the absolute wild. Just take caution and take heed, and be wary, man. Be very wary. Today we move on to Chipinda Pools, where we have to go and check in at the Chipinda reception area, and from there we'll move on to Director's Camp. I've never been to Director's Campsite, so I'm looking forward to it, but it's a long day on the road again. We reckon we're going to be pulling in at 12:30 in the morning to Chipinda Pools. The time now is 9:30. It's a good 105 kilometer drive, and at this speed of 19 kilometers an hour, you're not going anywhere in a hurry, which is lekker, just how I love it. Working with the Gonarezhou Conservation Trust, Ed and I have been given the privileged access to document our adventures from the air in the national park. Please note that flying of drones is strictly prohibited in any national park and is deemed a prosecutable offence. Now, you can gain access to the northern part of the park from the south, but as the rainy season has just passed and not knowing the conditions of the access roads, we exit the national park at the southwest gate and travel the 83 kilometers to Chipinda South Entry Gate. This is an easy drive with recently graded roads. Be cautious for livestock on the roads and travel slow when entering towns or villages. Entering back into the park, we head for the Chipinda Causeway, but with all the rain that has fallen, we aren't sure of water levels.
See you on the other side.
We'll see you on the other side. We have just come up, we've got to make our way to Chipinda Pools, and the first crossing, if all of you know about it, is a river crossing and the water looks quite high, but we see on the way in we saw a vehicle pass us and it looks like he's done it, and I would imagine that the staff here at Gonarezhou would not keep this causeway open if it was inaccessible. So time to switch into 4-low, second gear, and Ed and I are going to go across her first. I've done it before and I'm nervous. I'm very nervous because I know that it gets quite deep, and that was back then when I came through with Jono and overlanding with Bruce, and I have put it into 4-low, and here we go. May the gods be with us. Gonarezhou is famous for a few things, one being the Chiloja Cliffs and another being the causeways on the Runde River that divide the park between the north and the south. As an overlander, and with the causeways being at an accessible level, it really is something else to experience. I've done this causeway before, and I tell you that when you realize how far it is from one bank to the other, the fact that there are crocs visible on the left and on the right, hippos in the deeper pools at both ends of the river, and the flow of the water is quite strong as the current tries to lift the vehicle. There are very few river crossings as amazingly beautiful as the ones found in Gonarezhou, and they will leave you silent for the 5 minutes it takes to cross. We check in at Chipinda reception, fill up fuel at the head office, and grab a shower at the Chipinda developed campsites before making our way to the exclusive Director's Camp. As we exit the Fishans causeway, and after another long day on the road, we pull into Director's exclusive campsite as the light fades on the horizon. We set up camp and look forward to a rest day in camp the following morning. Gonarezhou is a self-drive wild national park that was established in 1934 and was proclaimed a national park in 1975. It is the second largest national park in Zimbabwe, covering 5,000 square kilometers after Hwange National Park, and it is located in the southeast of this beautiful part of the country. The Director's Camp is definitely a campsite that easily finds its way to the top of my campsites to stay at. Without a doubt, the backdrop is by far the most lasting impression as the ancient cliffs reflect and shadow the magnificent Runde River. It's a campsite where the wild moves past you along the riverbed, and with an elevated view, we sit back and enjoy a truly wild escape. With 3 nights allocated in this magnificent place, the adventure squad soon realizes that we are in amongst the wild, and this is what purest overlanding in Africa looks like as elephants move through and past our campsite. The name Gonarezhou is translated to the meaning of the place of plenty elephants, after the Shona word Njou or Zhou, which is the word for elephant. The park serves as both home and migrational route to over 11,500 of these gentle giants, as they are free to move along the Greater Limpopo Transfrontier Park. This is one of the highest densities of elephants in any protected area in Africa. This is a place where there are plenty of elephants, and witnessing them under the backdrop of the Chiloja Cliffs, it will soon leave a lasting impression on you. The views are out of this world, and it soon becomes evident that this is one of the last true wilderness parks in southern Africa, as the elephants are dwarfed by the enormity of the red Chiloja Cliffs. Gonarezhou is a national park that carries the Big Five, as well as over 400 bird species. The Gonarezhou National Park is managed as a co-management partnership established between the Zimbabwe Parks and Wildlife Management Authority and the Frankfurt Zoological Society. The ideology of conservation in the park is to enhance the protection and management of natural capital as a basis for ecological sustainability, sustainable tourism, and local development in the park itself and the neighboring communities. To find out more and make your bookings to this magnificent wild place, visit their website www.gonarezhou.org.
So we at the director's campsite. This is hands down one of the best campsites I've stayed at. We just took it easy today, but stunning view. Had elephants pass through here. You got the Chiloja Cliffs at the back. Stunning.
We had a bit of a rest day today in camp, and we took it easy, spent some quality time with our mates, and yeah, just enjoying this beautiful place.
And tomorrow, what are the plans, Boot?
So tomorrow we'll be heading out to go and have a look at the Chiloja Cliffs, and really looking forward to that one.
Tell us, my man, what are we having for dinner, Boot?
Some lekker kudu backstrap schnitzels. Just tenderizing them quickly. You have to use a Captain Morgan bowl to do this. Can't use Richelieu or one of those, otherwise you eat through the table. So the Captain Morgan's a bit more chilled, and all in the spirit of adventure.
We're gonna have a lekker brunch there tomorrow.
I can't wait. It's gonna be great. It's nice up there. It's beautiful. The view.
Is it?
There. Yeah, it's beautiful.
These two legends, Ben and Heinrich, pull out all the stops as they prepare the evening's meal, and there's no holding back. All I can tell you as cameraman is that there was many beaten flat kudu backstrap fillets, courtesy of Mr. Heinrich, flour, Dorito chips batter, that's a new one, cooking oil, many eggs, sprinkled in with a bit of sweat, the utmost focus and determination from the fellas, plus some much needed refreshments. The adventure squad is simply immersed in the wild and loving every minute of it as day turns to dark. A well-deserved rest day indeed, and great to share it with good friends. Good morning, and as always, when out here overlanding and adventure driving, it is a damn good morning, very good morning. We have spent a day in director's camp. Yesterday was a write-off day, a regroup day. We were obviously very tired from the previous 2 days of hard driving, long hours, and yeah, the body feels it, you know. So we just took a day off yesterday, and what a day it was to watch elephant crossing the Runde River. And with director's camp being a campsite that sits overlooking one of the points of Runde River, it is just fantastic with the Chiloja Cliffs in the background. Wow, what a spot, what a campsite, and just amazing, an amazing day relaxing and regrouping in camp. But today we are driving the vehicles, number one, to restock and replenish lithium batteries. We all need to get our lithium batteries back up, and number two, explore a little bit of the park. We're going to drive up to the Chiloja viewing point, which is on the top of the Chiloja Cliffs. I've been there before, an absolutely magic spot where we plan on having a bit of brunch. Old Ed is going to cook up a storm. Let's see how it goes, and let's just enjoy this magnificent area. It is simply stunning. If you've been to the Pufuri area in the Kruger National Park, it looks just like that. It is, it's just stunning. Words don't do it justice. But yeah, looking forward to replenishing those batteries, and even better, looking forward to a nice scrambled egg and bacon brunch that old Ed's gonna cook up. Magic. I was here some 2 years ago at the Chiloja viewpoint top, and it is simply stunning. Have a look at this. Feeling on top of the world and having experienced this magic spot, it was time for Ed and Gerry to cook up a storm as they prepped up a brunch fit for a hungry bunch. The humidity at this time of the year is almost unbearable, as temperatures soar in the mid-40s by 11 a.m.
We're making a mean breakfast this morning for lunch.
With the temperatures being so high and shade in short supply, we took to the brush and brought out the trusty Milwaukee fan for a select few. Words don't do it justice.
Make a rope, tow rope.
And it's high, very high. So if you've got a fear for heights, some people get attracted to going over, some backwards. Just keep your distance, because you slip and fall here, you're gone. The Chiloja Cliffs, a scenic view to rival most, and one of the things to do that makes Gonarezhou renowned and favoured as a purist's wild escape. There simply is no place like it in southern Africa. And with that, we hit the road and head back to camp.
We are in the clouds.
Wow, we are camped here at Director's Camp, and we've got the beautiful Chiloja Cliffs behind us. The sun has finally shown itself, it's now setting, and the Chiloja Cliffs are looking spectacular. Now, the elephants here are somewhat temperamental. Young bulls and matriarchs in breeding herds are not scared to let you know that you are too close, and will occasionally charge vehicles. While this didn't appear to be a charge from the elephants, we weren't hanging around to find out if their mad dash would turn into a full-on charge. As overlanders exploring wild areas, it's our duty to keep cautious, give plenty of distance, and when driving, keep your hearing up to loud trumpet calls and bellows from bulls or breeding herd females. This clip was sent to us from Mishka. Note that the elephants in the area didn't seem to mock charge, as in the dashcam footage that shows. Pay attention to how far this herd ushers the vehicle out of the area, and it goes to show that determination and making a decision from the driver's point of view with quick reaction time is what saved this family from what could have been a disastrous event.
Holy fuck. Yeah, you went okay, you went okay. Holy fuck.
Well done to the driver, for sure. Young children are present in the vehicle, and I commend them for sharing their clip with us, and that they are safe. It's not to say that all the elephants in the area are bad, but remember, with narrow roads and thick bush, we often surprise a feeding herd with young ones. This happens in any national park, so be vigilant out there and always take care for your safety and those in your vehicle.
Holy fuck. Nou, hartslag, jongen. Het is maar goed dat papa aan het rijden was. Het is ik aan het rijden was, hadden ze allemaal tegen ons aangelopen. Ik schrok me dood, echt. Ja, je moet het vanavond eraf gaan halen. Ik heb geen tijd, je moet het op de vooruit zetten.
Ja, ik denk dat ik dat wil.
Oh. Oh god, hier. Nee, ze zijn nu voor ons aan het weglopen, maar... Nee, nog steeds. Kunnen we draaien? Ja, ze gaan de bosjes in, maar rij voorzichtig door, voorzichtig. Nee, nog geen brokken.
Ik moet zo omdraaien namelijk.
Wat moet je?
Ik moet mijn bokken.
Rustig, want ze zijn weg.
Back on the road, we make our way across the Runde River at the Fishans Causeway as we head far east towards the Chov Causeway. We've just had 3 nights at the spectacular Director's campsite, and you know, it's one of those campsites you've got to go and visit. It's right on the Runde River. We were visited by big herds of elephant crossing the Runde River, and we had that sighting of 16 wild dog on the opposite side of the Runde River bank. And I tell you, it's just one of those campsites I'd highly advise you spend a couple of nights at, if not 3 or more. It's well worth it, and it's lovely with the picturesque Chiloja Cliffs in the background. Just fantastic. So what do you need to know about Director's Campsite? Director's Campsite has a long drop with a rudimentary wooden barrier around. Just be careful when going to the loo in the early mornings and evenings. The area is visited by elephants, buffalo and lion. We heard them this morning. They weren't far off from campsite. They didn't come into camp, but not too far off. We are now on our way to our next 3 nights. I believe 2 nights or 3 nights, and that is the Chov campsite. We are driving the corrugated roads right now to the area heading to Chiloja Cliffs. We've gone across the Fisherman's Causeway, and we are on the other side of the Runde River. It's a 39-kilometer drive, depending on which way you go. If you cross over Fishans Causeway, it is 39 kilometers, and if you go behind the Chiloja Cliffs, it's a 48-kilometer drive. So we reckon about 2.5 hours at the 20-kilometer-an-hour mark, which is what we're sitting at the moment. We're still on our way to Chov campsite, and we're on the other side of the Runde River. We have to cross over at the Chov crossover or causeway point marked in at the Tracks for Africa on the Garmin. and it's 17 kilometers away, and we're driving roads that look like they get very, very rarely used, which is lekker. I love it. It's absolutely brilliant. But yeah, one of the things at this time of the year, being April, is the bush is very thick. The bush is very thick. We have not seen a lot of wildlife, if I'm honest. Lots of impala and the occasional elephant. The breeding herds seem okay. They seem fine if you drive with a little bit of determination past them. You seem fine. Some roads are not shown on the Tracks for Africa map, with a couple of deviancies here or there, but I would imagine, as I'm running the older version, I would imagine that seasonal changes, you know, that's how that goes. Guys, I've said it in the past, man. Yeah, if you want a purist driving experience, then yeah, you've got to come and do this. You just have to come and do this. It's just spectacular, spectacular. But yeah, 17 kilometers to go to the causeway, the Chov River causeway or crossing, and let's get there. Let's get there. We stop and pause at the Chov causeway as the sun begins to set. It seems the further east we travel along the Runde River, the wider the river gets, and at this causeway, it's a long one. And without the visible signs of fresh tracks, I decide to get ahead to get those shots. At all the causeways, there appears to be purposefully placed upright sticks to not only show the depth of the water, but to show the line one needs to take when crossing the wider sections. We also gathered intel at the Chipinda reception, which causeways were open to us at this time of the year. The only one too deep to cross was the Bopomela causeway. With the crossing done and a sigh of relief, Tracks for Africa shows that we only have 5 kilometers to go to arrive at the secluded exclusive camp that is Chov, where we will hold up for 2 nights. Right, so we are here, Chov camp finally. Wow, what a day's drive, eh? I think if anything, one of the best bits of advice I can give you is anywhere that's 30 kilometers or more in the Gonarezhou National Park, expect a full day's drive. It is, wow, it's real, so real. But what a drive, what a place, and we are here at camp finally. Some things right off the bat. Chov campsite has a long drop. It has a little built-in braai, and the nice thing with the Chov campsite is that you can fish. Yes, that's right. The campsite is right on the river's edge. Let me show you. Sunsets along the Runde River are completely different at each of the campsites. It's a special moment to share with the crew after another long day on the dirt.
Just as a person,
At first light, we are up to witness an old injured bull hippo making a slow entrance into the water. There are 3 types of bush camping in the Gonarezhou: exclusive campsites, wilderness campsites, and transit camps. At the Chov exclusive camp, you are very well protected as the campsite is surrounded by a high rocky outcrop. However, with wildlife tracks coming into and out of the camp, we always remain vigilant. The bush camps are undeveloped with simply a long drop and a fire pit. The Gonarezhou exclusive campsites are able to fit between 4 and 6 vehicles, depending. All exclusive campsites at the time of this recording cost $90 per campsite, which works out to $15 per person per night if you are camping with a minimum of 6 people. Exclusive campsites can accommodate up to 12 people per campsite. There are 7 exclusive campsites in the Gonarezhou National Park, and they are set in some of the most sought-after areas in the park. So what a fantastic second day here at Chov campsite. We are right up alongside the Runde River, and my mate Gerry from opposite lock and myself are trying our hand at catching a tigerfish. Now, if you've been following the show, you know I've got great luck when it comes to tigerfish. Still waiting for a bite. Gerry has had an absolutely blitz of a day, catching everything between barbel, squeakers, and he caught his first tigerfish here on the Runde River. Some things to know: if you are going to do fishing, it costs $10 per day per person to fish on the Runde River. There are select campsites that you can fish at. Not every campsite is advised to fish on the Runde River. It is a very wild area, so be careful. Make sure, keep an eye out for hippos, and definitely keep an eye out for crocodiles. Try not to be too close to the water's edge. In fact, anything between 2.5 meters and beyond is better. Away from the shoreline when fishing. But overall, such a lekker day. An absolutely fantastic day. The sun is setting behind us, and Gerry and I are giving it a good go at trying to catch the elusive African piranha, the tigerfish, a freshwater beast. When it comes to fishing, we're just trying a little MEPS number 4, and I think Gerry's got a tiger whacker on, and yeah, he's doing all right. He's doing all right. Had a couple of knocks already. But yeah, I tell you what, who needs fishing when you have a view like this? These are the revered Matabele ants, as they hiss and shear by the number when on the hunt and on the move. They travel at times after the rains in large armies, picking up whatever the bush makes available to them. They have a nasty bite, so pass off for the 1s and 2s in and around camp. With our second night done and dusted at the amazing Chov campsite, we pack up and make a plan to get to the Fishans exclusive campsite along the Runde River, and not too far from the director's exclusive campsite.
Okay guys, we're leaving Chov campsite now. What a magical campsite right on the Runde River. Got hippos down here, hyenas across the river this morning, lions going off during the night. But now we are leaving for Fishans campsite for our second last night in Gonarezhou. So yeah, let's see how it goes.
For this route, we will be traveling behind and on top of the Chiloja Cliffs, a shorter, more direct route that's easy to travel. Yeah, I'm actually feeling quite tired, if I'm honest. Long couple of days on the road. The driving in Gonarezhou is tough going. It might seem short on maps to get from one point to the other, but it's a good day's driving to get to most of the campsites that are further away. We've just had a lovely couple of days at Chov campsite, 2 nights, and I reckon it's a campsite that's worth 2 nights. It's lovely because it's a campsite you can fish at, and fishing, well, some of us tried, some of us failed, and some of us were victorious. And today we are heading to Fishman's campsite as our crew begins to start winding down and thinking about exiting the Gonarezhou National Park to make their way back to South Africa. So a little bit of a couple of depressed looking faces this morning. Either that or they're all just tired, which I think is generally the case. Let's see what today has in store for us as we visit another new campsite, one I've never been to. Fishman's campsite. I believe it's campsite 1 next to Director's campsite. So if it's anything like the Director's campsite, well then, that's brilliant. With Fishans campsite already booked by another group, we head for the developed campsite that is Chinguli campsite. A definite favorite of mine as there is running water and great ablutional facilities with hot solar geyser water. We arrive late afternoon, and as the realization kicks in that the adventure squad would be breaking apart, we have a festive evening around the fire and enjoy the sounds of the rapids as the water makes its way eastwards along the Runde River. Last Fishans Causeway crossing as a group as we head for the Chipinda reception area where we'd catch up and say our last goodbyes to these legends.
Good things.
Well, sad day for us. We are out of here. We're heading out that gate on our way home, leaving you two legends here. But what an amazing experience and a great trip. Lovely place, this Gonarezhou. Really, really stunning place. Recommend it. But sadly, we got to leave. I've got to get out of the camera. I'm going to start crying.
This Gonarezhou is a special place. It's really, really, really awesome. I loved it. I loved every second of it. Caught some like a fish and some tigers. So it was really, really great. I've thoroughly enjoyed it.
We about to leave Gonarezhou after a beautiful stay here for the last 7 nights. Absolutely amazing place. I would definitely visit again. It's been fantastic, but it's time to get back to reality and back to the family and all the good stuff.
No, it was a very, very lucky experience in Gonarezhou. My first time being in the park. Definitely not my last time being here. Unfortunately, we are heading back to South Africa now. Leaving with a heavy heart. I wanted to stay another 2 or 3 weeks at least. But yeah, that's part of the game. But we'll definitely be back. And Gonarezhou is definitely a park that everybody should come to at least once in their life. It's simply spectacular. You can't put it into words. People must come here and experience it for themselves.
Thank you, chaps, for a great adventure in what some people would describe as one of the last true wilderness areas in southern Africa. If you've enjoyed this episode, please like and leave a comment, but most importantly, please share the link with friends and family. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. I'm Ryan Crocker, and this is 4x4 Ventures, a show that takes you on our adventures. Till the next one, stay safe, keep trucking, and I hope to see you out there. Cheers. Stay tuned in for scenes from our next episode. Thank you to the Gonarezhou Conservation Trust, to Simon, Callum, and team for an amazing job well done. 10 more nights. 10 more nights! I'm excited. This is going to be amazing. We're staying in wild places, new campsites. We are here in Gonarezhou National Park. Thank you to my active Patreon members, keeping the adventure alive. Support my work and sign up. Link in the write-up below. Be a legend and support the show.